The Mamamoo podcast is supported by the Limassol Therapy Center, a place where children, teenagers, and adults can find support and guidance through psychology, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and special education services, always with care and respect. For more information, visit limassoltherapycenter.com or call 25 33 33 75. Nobody tells you postpartum can be the hardest part of motherhood, and yet too many of us step into it without the knowledge and support we really need. We Are Mamas is here to change that. From trusted information and practical tools to curated products for recovery and well-being, they give you the confidence to take care of yourself as you care for your baby. You can visit www.wigglecy.com/wearemamas and start your postpartum journey with support, not struggle. Also, there is a 20% discount for all you listeners. Just use the code MAMAMU, MAMMAMU. This episode is part of a special podcast series brought to you by the Kateryna Biloruska Foundation, a foundation dedicated to empowering youth and supporting families. Hello, I am Eleni and this is the Mamamoo podcast. A podcast I created in 2019 in a bid to empower and raise the voices of women in Cyprus who can offer an alternative vision to societal issues. As a mother of three, I care deeply about our youth, about their future, the challenges they face, and the lack of progress in our education system. That's why I'm always eager to learn more on these matters, especially from those who choose slightly different routes to education and schooling. When the Kateryna Biloruska Foundation recommended I speak with today's guest, I jumped at the opportunity because not only is this a story of survival, it's also a peek into a different world of learning. So today I will be talking to Katerina Shuliak, country manager at the new Ukrainian school in Limassol, NeoStudy. The school's history began in Ukraine in the city of Irpin, which has become infamous worldwide due to the Russian occupation. After Russia invaded Ukraine, the school stopped working, and despite the city being liberated by the beginning of the 2022 academic year, the school's buildings were damaged to such an extent that housing kids in those buildings would have been impossible. Many of these children and their families found shelter in Cyprus and became part of the NeoStudy school, which Katerina will talk to us about today. We also talk about essential life skills such as communication, leadership, and confidence, and what it's like working with displaced and traumatised children. Now, on with Katerina, on with the show. Katerina, welcome to Nicosia and welcome to the studio. I know you've come all the way from Limassol today. I hope traffic wasn't too bad.
Hi, Eleni. It's my huge pleasure to be here and speak to you. No, it was traffic a lot, but I'm glad I'm here.
I think we're always surprised when there's no traffic. It's like, what's going on? Something must be going on if there's no traffic.
Maybe I confuse days and
exactly.
it's Sunday.
Okay, so we're talking about a subject that is very close to our hearts as parents, both of us, and you as an educator, someone who's been in this field for a very long time. I was very intrigued to learn about NeoStudy, yeah? So can you tell us a bit about what NeoStudy is? When was it founded and why was it founded? Why was it created?
Of course. When people ask me this question, you can answer very short and you can speak hours for that. I'll try to be not long story. But anyway, we are the company originally from Ukraine. And actually in Ukraine, we've been existing for 25 years. So it's a big holding, honestly, and with a long history. Almost all our core team came from Ukraine. Basically, I'm part of it as well. Okay. When the war started in 2022, we had the first year of our boarding school in Kyiv. Okay. So which means in Kyiv we have a lot of schools, lyceums, colleges, language courses all over the cities. But that was the year when we launched a boarding school nearby Kyiv in Irpin city. And it was the first year when 100 students lived basically in a school when we received this invasion. Okay. And in February, we had to make a quick decision where to put all the kids because their parents have been everywhere in other cities in Ukraine, in other countries, etc. So the decision was done quite quickly. The direction is Cyprus. Why Cyprus, you will ask me? Because we had very good relationship with Cyprus actually and been working for many years in terms of summer camps and holidays, etc. So that's how we appeared here.
Okay. So you said 100 kids in this boarding school.
Correct.
And it sounds like it was set up very quickly to accommodate these children.
Of course.
That must have been hard.
It is. I speak quite calm now about that, but again, when I remind it, everything is shaking inside because you still remember these feelings. Of course, part of kids' parents took immediately, but we still had some students who should be relocated immediately. Okay. And that's what we actually did. We collaborated with one of the schools here in Cyprus and moved our students immediately for a calm place, so to say. And the core team also came here. We actually didn't thought about creating a school itself. Okay. We thought about maybe language courses or some adaptation courses, helping to study online, etc. But we came and understood that there's a lot of Ukrainians here, a lot of people from Ukraine who relocated before, and they continue coming to Cyprus. So at spring of 2022 appeared that idea, so maybe let's make something more than just language courses. Yeah.
In the meantime, I wanted to ask you, were these, obviously these kids were, because of the war, pulled out of school, education had stopped. How easy was it to get them back into an education environment after they had been through this trauma as well?
Eleni, I'll be honest with you, it still continues. Like this process, I don't feel it stopped. So it's trauma, I think it's for generation, but we can make it better.
And take one day at a time and one step at a time.
This is not a question of just changing the school. When the kids switch from one school to another, it's something deeper and something more difficult. So we're still facing a lot of challenges. I will tell you about them, because there are many of them. Yeah. But coming back to our story, with launching the school, we understood that we need a school, basically a real school here in Cyprus, because many kids just cannot find their place to study because local schools at that moment, they were full. Kids knew zero Greek, zero English.
Yeah, that's always
some
a
of
problem,
them.
yeah.
So this is what actually where idea arising from when we decided to open NeoStudy. So far it is 3 full years, and the 4th year launched since our bilingual school exists here.
Okay.
Because it's Ukrainian and English at the same time.
That was one of the questions that I had. Are they learning English as well and still doing the studies in Ukrainian?
Yeah.
Are they learning Greek?
Of course.
Oh, they are.
Of course, we respect the place where we are. Of course, we remain some part of Ukrainian program. The main, like the core subject, like language, literature, history, and we also run some mathematics lessons. But most of the program is in English. We follow Cambridge program, and of course, we have Greek and history of Cyprus.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go into what it's like working with displaced kids and traumatized kids as well. But the general feeling that you get from the kids that you work with, how do they see their future? I mean, are they interested in studying, furthering their education? Or is it just about the moment right now and surviving, and then later on maybe thinking about what the future holds?
Very different. Very different. What we feel, and our actually goal here is to make a safe environment, no matter is it just a period in your life, for a kid, or it's a long story. We are here at the company for a long period of time. That's how we feel and understand and actually see our goal for that. For students, we accept it's very different. Somebody came just for 1 year to stay in a safe environment, and for parents and for kids, for example, and come back to Ukraine, because we also have many students who came back who cannot live in any other place like home.
Yeah.
We also have students who are with us for 4 years since the school was created, basically. So it's very different. Our task is to make their well-being here successful, safe, interesting, for them to be integrated in society, socialized, which is very important. And it doesn't matter, you came here for 6 months, for 1 year, or you plan to stay with us for a long time. Yeah. Every moment, every day of being here should be good.
Yeah. So the programs, you talked a little bit about the programs. Can you elaborate a bit more about what kind of programs the kids are involved in the school?
Yeah, so we keep part of Ukrainian program, which is familiar for students. The language is familiar, and this is something they basically continue.
Okay.
Yeah? And this part of program makes them feel confident. Yeah. You studied Ukrainian language, of course you continue studying it. You studied history, you continue. So basically you don't feel interruption from Ukrainian program when you are moved, right? Of course, we are in Cyprus. Yeah, we need to know local languages. That's why we have Greek in our curriculum, and students start from basics and continue. We enhance it, and for them to be able to speak Greek, which is very important. And core program is English, followed by Cambridge.
Okay.
So they have all of the books like math, science, English, sport, all the other subjects. It's a regular school.
And what ages do you have, Kateryna?
All through from preschool until high school. All years.
Yeah. Do we know a number of kids that are part of the school?
Of course, we have 250 kids.
Wow. Okay. And some of them have their parents here. Some of them have their parents back in Ukraine. And I'm guessing that there are kids who have also lost parents?
Unfortunately, yes. Most of families are separated, though we have some few full families. There are some kids who live with grannies here, for example, and parents are working in Ukraine as well.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we do have some kids who lost their parents, and it's very, very difficult. We know all of them, and we are working on it.
Yeah. So one of my other questions was, what is it like working with displaced kids and kids who have suffered so much trauma? What do these kids need? I mean, you said a safe environment. I'm guessing that they also need a routine as well, because kids always thrive on a routine. But how are they dealing with these changes, and how do they understand the concept of war as well, now that it's happened to them?
Of course, kids are traumatized, and you can look at a kid, it can be smiling and actually behaving very good, but you never know what's inside, what's behind that smile. And this case, which is not obvious, there are cases which are very, very obvious. Somebody will say this kid is disruptive, and just doesn't listen to you, but he's
going through something.
Going through something very difficult.
Yeah.
So this trauma can be obvious or not, can be big or small, but it exists. So basically, all challenges we are facing is are going to the communication in different from different angles of it. It's communication between kids, it's communication with other adults, communication in between families. So this is a huge challenge we are actually facing every single day. And we're working on this. In school, we have psychologists and even several, depending on the need. And we decided that case-by-case working is not always bring to results.
Oh, really?
And we actually implemented as a part of school program a mentorship program. So we created a mentorship program in a school. It serves for several goals and actually broke down in several blocks. So at the beginning of a year, it's always like communication, getting acquainted with each other, team building, etc. And then step by step, we work with kids in terms of their psychological feelings.
Okay. That's their psychological state where they are right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. With emotional sphere, because emotions is a very difficult thing. You need to name them correctly.
Yep.
You need to work on them. You need to work on reactions according to these emotions. And it varies from ages as well. When we are speaking about small kids and when we go to young teenage age or later teenage age, all ages have different
needs and different
needs, of course. So this program was implemented in a curriculum 2 times per week. The psychologist or some other professionals come and make lectures for students. They do some tests, they analyze results, they speak on emotions, they analyze behavior and consequences, etc. So working on trauma is not always basically speaking about this trauma.
Okay.
It's all around that.
Yeah.
No need every day to remind and say trauma, bad things. You just need to give all of the kids some hard ground, so to say, where you can stand. And find this balance in all you are living in. Because like a typical environment of a kid, I mean Ukrainian kid, it's you live in your house with your family. Sometimes this family differs from the family which you had in Ukraine, different family members. You had father, now you have no father. Okay. Or father is in Ukraine, mother is here, for example, or you live with granny. You hear news all the time because we cannot speak about war constantly, or vice versa. You speak every day about this because something happened. For example, we are making this podcast, but last night in Ukraine was a disaster.
I know. I was going to say that I think we're talking about the drone.
Yes.
That hit
the school and the kindergarten. Basically.
And one child died.
It's true.
You know what, Katerina? Because here in Cyprus, we experienced war many years ago, 50 plus years ago. And in hindsight now, when we talk about it, my generation, even the older generation, I feel, one thing that is always talked about is that the trauma that was experienced back then was not talked about. We did not have what you are describing right now, which I feel would have been a lifesaver, for lack of a better word right now, if people were able to not just talk about the trauma, but acknowledge it and then find ways to move on without ignoring the trauma, because it's always going to be there. It's never going to go away. But finding ways to deal with it and having the tools to deal with it. And I feel that what you're describing right now is that you are giving these kids the tools that they need to move on, and for that trauma to not take a hold of them and to bring them back and to create hate and polarization. It's almost like you're freeing these kids of this trauma and telling them that there is a future and they can dream and be motivated to find something better.
Definitely. Because kids, they're small creatures, they have future ahead. And we want them to have happy life, like every human in this world, which we deserve, and this trauma, they need to be worked out. And at some point you have to speak on it. At some point you need to put it aside and live your life. So this is such a balance in all of this, and in between working on your traumas, you should enjoy this life and find happiness and motivation to make the next step, to make your life better, and etc.
And I think it's also like an acceptance of what's happened.
It is,
which is what I feel a lot of times here in Cyprus. People have never accepted that this happened. You know, mistakes were made or whatever. It happened. So accepting it, acknowledging it, and then moving on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because working on a trauma is one part, right? All the other steps are more about motivation. About desire to do something else. So these are several different perspectives which are important to combine in school and in families. Because we are speaking mostly about kids, but working with parents is also very important.
That's true.
Because parents, they are also traumatized. They also need help, and
they have the extra baggage of having to think about their kids,
the responsibilities. Everything. And here we always say that we need like a teamwork.
It is.
It's true. It's true. That's why we do parents meeting very often, some events, family days, etc. The more communication we all have, the better results we'll gain.
we've mentioned the word motivation and some skills that you're working on. What stood out for me when I was researching for this podcast is that it was mentioned that we're not only focusing on academic knowledge, but essential life skills like communication, leadership, and confidence. Well, first of all, I wanted to ask, how do you do that? Because I feel that this is something that is lacking in our education system in Cyprus. There is a heavy focus on academic knowledge. And then you have these soft skills like communication and leadership and confidence, which are not worked on that much, yet they are so very important. So how do you help kids build this skill of, let's say, communication first? Because communication is, I mean, we hear it everywhere, whether it's in our social life or in politics or in finance or even between parents and kids sometimes. Like, there's a lack of communication. We're never taught how to communicate properly. So how are you working on that with the kids at the school?
Thank you for this question. I've been working in industry of education actually for 15 years. Like all my career, so to say, is dedicated to education. So I'm always curious how different countries manage education industry and how different programs are implemented in life. And it's true. It's really true that different countries and different systems of education have different ideas. And if we speak about, for example, Cambridge, A-levels, some Canadian-American programs, or the Cypriot Ukrainians, all are different. And actually all are beautiful from different perspectives. The ideal is somewhere between.
Okay, all right. A balance, as you mentioned before.
A balance. So since we had this amazing chance to combine several programs, we decided, okay, let's make it as best as possible and take better ideas and results and implement it in life. So actually that's what we did. So we do have integrated lessons. So integrated, it's when we do a combination, for example, from something best from one system, from another, and combine it. Because, for example, if we go to Ukrainian system, the communication is a clue because students talk a lot during lessons itself. So it is in academic part, but they speak a lot. They always make dialogues, projects.
Oh,
like
really?
Non-stop, yeah.
Well, in Cyprus, they're told not to talk, to be quiet. So that's one
this is the
big difference. And actually, I mean, in all these years that I've been doing this podcast, guys, it just occurred to me that what you've just said right now, that you're encouraging kids to have dialogue, you're encouraging them to speak.
It is.
Whereas in other contexts, and I'm telling you, pretty sure here in the public education system in Cyprus, they are definitely not told to speak or encouraged to.
The other point, like not obvious, but it's real. Students should learn two other languages, Greek and English.
Oh, God,
you can.
Yeah.
How you can learn ride a bicycle? Only riding this bicycle, you know?
Yes.
The same goes for language. If you need to learn it, you need to speak. Speaking is possible only in a dialogue. So our students really, some parents complain, even like you have too much communication and projects. But what is project? It's when students do three, maybe half of a group, they make something together. They negotiate, they find leader, they draw something, they make some ideas, creative stuff.
They learn to work with other people, Katerina. That's the most important part.
It is. And actually, kids enjoying it because they make presentations all the time. They, when I say presentation, when they show their project and speak on it, they discuss some. It doesn't matter the topic. It can be sport. It can be some history fact. It can be some earth things, whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is they communicate. And if we remember our mentorship program, which I told, it's broken up into several blocks when we actually teach kids how to learn.
Okay.
It could sound very strange, but I will explain now. The war continues 4 years. Before war, we had 2 years of COVID. So let's just count that the kid who at COVID was at first grade now goes to grade 6 or 7. Some of these kids are not such socialized. Can you imagine that? It's a disaster. So, which means they are not communicating properly. They don't know how to.
They don't know how. Yeah.
They don't know how to sit in a class with other classmates, how to react on jokes, how to react when somebody speaks to you properly, like healthy, I mean. And somebody after COVID went into war and was learning only online. So just imagine this kid is not socialized at all.
Yes.
It can be a very wealthy and healthy family, but the kid is suffering. So from the very beginning and from the very first steps, you need to teach this kid to live in this world, to speak to classmates, to speak to teachers, to communicate all together, and remind him how is that to study actually. Because kids can be very smart, but without these soft skills, they will not have a chance to show it.
Yes.
They could be brilliant academically.
Yes.
But life's changing, and without soft skills, you will not have a chance to show it up.
Yeah.
So this is the part, and it's implemented basically in this program. It is a part of academic program, and also we do a lot beside the school, like after classes activity.
Okay.
Yeah, and here I can speak for hours. Please stop me at some moment.
Yeah, is it sports? Is it creative things?
Of course. We do have after classes clubs. And it goes for sport, for different ones. Like if we're speaking about our school, it's football, which is a team, kind of sport. Tennis. We have gymnastics. We have jiu-jitsu. So I love this sport because it's philosophy. It's not just about some physical movements. I adore all of this. Besides, we do have arts, different kind of, and art therapy is amazing. It's like really, because some kids it's very difficult to speak for them to speak about their feelings and emotions, but they can draw them.
Yes.
And it's amazing. So it's not just the beautiful picture, but it's something more, because kids always put their feelings inside. So there's art, some designs, also like IT technologies. Why not? We are living in the 21st century.
Well,
so
and we
all
know,
of this is beside. And as a part of this after school clubs, we did such a funny thing, which actually became very successful. We started to invite some people as lecturers, and it doesn't matter. Some representatives of professions, like somebody out of school, some leaders or just interesting people, where they speak about their life. For example, we had DJ in our school. Can you imagine?
Very cool.
And he came to us and tell his story, how he became a DJ, what music he likes, what actually he does. Kids were amazed on that. We also invited doctor, for example.
Okay.
He also told his story that he was studying for 9 years to become a dentist, and showed kids some of his equipment and how it's important to brush the teeth, etc. We invited lawyer, and it's very, very interesting because it's part of prof orientation for kids.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We are speaking about young ages or high school, when they need to choose, basically. It's entertainment, new faces.
Exactly.
And actually, when we coming back to your initial question of communication, it's broad in their minds.
Yes.
And when you can ask your question freely, and nobody will laugh on you. Everybody will answer your question. And for kids, it's not easy sometimes to speak to some alien, to say. And when they know that every second week they will have some new star here.
That isn't a teacher, that isn't... And, it's something new and exciting, and that's and I feel that if you want to keep kids interested in, I won't even say education, I'll just say learning, because even at our age we're still learning. So if you want to keep kids interested in learning and in knowledge, you have to keep it interesting, you have to keep it exciting.
It's true. And it works. Because what can be more motivative? And then somebody's story, somebody's example. It's amazing when you have motivation inside. But it's so rare.
It is. It is.
Usually, when you are a kid, you can't find this motivation inside. You should be very self-confident. But you can receive this motivation from outside. And family and school, they help in this. And the more people and the more kids interact with various people from various backgrounds, that is it's just, I think it's just one of the most important lessons that kids can learn when they are able to sit down with people from all walks of life, hear their stories. Storytelling is powerful, Kateryna. We know that. And I hope that these kids will find a way to tell their stories as well. So let's go to... So we go to confidence before we go to leadership. So confidence, and I know this as a mother of 3 kids. I have a teenager who we always know that teenagers are looking, for their place in the world. The confidence. They can sometimes appear as overconfident, but at the same time they might lack in confidence. And then you have kids who have learning disabilities, which I also have a child who has learning disabilities, and how comparing themselves continuously to other kids in the class can make their confidence go down quite a bit. So confidence is very important in so many ways, but it's also a way when you build a kid's confidence, it means that you're keeping them away from trouble as well. Because we know that a lot of teenagers who act out, and a lot of what we see them do, whether it's, getting involved with drugs or other illegal activities, it's always because they have low self-confidence. So confidence is quite crucial. How do you build confidence in the context that you're working with these kids? Confidence is very important. And actually, if we speak about Ukrainian kids, because we have only Ukrainians in our school, this is what actually been traumatized as well. Yes. Because when parents, even adults, they lose control on situation, they are not confident as well.
Exactly.
And kids are mirrors. They reflect the same without understanding it at all. but they just do it. And if they are not stable inside, they can be confident in anything else.
Yes.
So this is also a part of education process, and this particular thing goes also for individual work. We have psychologists in a school, and how do we understand where we need which kids needs extra help? Like such an example, at the beginning of the academic year in September, the psychologists come to every group of kids, and they do some very simple tests for socializing, for self-esteem, for inner feeling, etc. So after this sociometry, so to say, we understand where something's wrong. And we can't, of course, work with kids, like psychologists can't work with kids without parents' permission. So this is step number one. We actually speak with parent, and it's all under privacy, and very individually. So if the kid really needs some extra help, we usually speak to parents, and after permission, we can also work with this particular kid separately.
Does the child have to want to work with a psychologist as well?
Oh, of course. Of course, nobody's persuading. But this is very important for us as a school to explain to kids that psychologist is not something bad and there's something wrong with you. That's why it's very important to build this relationship from the very beginning. When psychology is the part of school team, you can ask any question. It's not your enemy, it's your friend.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, it's a safe space. You can come and speak with whatever you want. Psychologist will come to your lesson and show you a nice cartoon, and you will discuss it because this cartoon is about life. To show up maybe some emotions, etc. So building a confidence is also as part of this job. And again, if we are speaking about all the projects students prepare, they also help to make it, because if you are make it in a group of students, for example, this time you will present the project, next time the other student will present, and it step by step, it helps you to understand yourself better, to understand your strong sides better, and don't be afraid to make it. Beside of that, all the creative clubs also help. For example, drama club, or the separate club where we build a voice. For example, all these hints, steps by step, they make your self-confidence and help you. Some kids do it quite quickly. Somebody needs more time. So it's not like a one-time action. It's a lifelong building of this piece of character.
With different pieces of like a puzzle. You need all these different pieces to make it.
And you always need support. You can't stop in January doing this. It's all continuous action all the time.
Okay, so let's go to leadership, which is one of the essential life skills that you teach at the school, and which is a huge part of the Kateryna Biloruska Foundation as well. Leadership. How do we raise leaders? And how do you raise and create leaders when it comes to kids who have been displaced and living different lives now?
Very good question, actually. And this is the point where we met with Kateryna Biloruska Foundation, actually, because we truly share these ideas, and it's very easy to work with partners who are sharing your goals as well. Making leaders is crucial in our society. And let's be honest, not everyone is a leader. But
I've heard that, and you know, at first it's like, what do you mean not everyone can be a leader? But then you think that actually there are kids and people who don't want to be leaders.
Of course.
And they're fine with creating another leader and helping that leader.
For sure. But
So, yeah.
You can't be a leader maybe for the full society, but you can be leader for your
community, for your school,
family,
for your
yourself,
family. Yeah,
for
exactly.
Yourself. Because when we speak about success, like there's no comparison with somebody else. You compare you with yourself yesterday.
Yes.
And it's also a step helping students, kids to become leaders is also very important. And actually building a leadership is another step after building a confidence. And if you have a strong basic and strong ground, we can speak about gaining something more.
Okay.
And here works everything again. A nice example, inspiration factor, the motivation, working on you, reflecting on results, because to make good conclusions, you need to speak on previous what been done. So you need to analyze all of this, and again, it's a group work. Working with psychologists, working with some other specialized people who will help you, and building leadership features. So to say, it's also a continuous process. Yeah, we do it at school, we do it after classes, we do it separately beside the school building in general.
Yeah.
And making, for example, such camps as we did with
the FEM camp.
Camp. We had successful one in spring, and hope so. We are speaking on this to repeat it once again, and to make another program even more interesting and unusual. So this part, beside working with parents again, because parents should help their students to become leaders as well. This is sharing, for example, some films or literature, some books, when students can read it beside of a school.
So pop culture helps a bit as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. A part of it, they also try to make integration with society in general. When we go out from a school community, it's very important to socialize out. That's why, for example, we have very good relationships with local schools, and do some events together. Whatever. It can be an Easter party or a Christmas fair.
Or a football match.
A football match, definitely. When you interact with other students, when you speak Greek with them, when you negotiate, when you maybe solve some conflicts, because it's also part of life.
Yes.
And all of this, it helps to make you a leader, basically, and a socialized person beside of it.
Yeah. In your experience, because I know that the Kateryna Biloruska Foundation and the FEM camp focused on girls, on empowering young girls to be leaders. In your experience, have you noticed a difference between the qualities of a girl leader and a boy leader, or maybe challenges that they face?
Oh, such a deep question.
It is. I know. I'm sorry.
Well, there are differences. Maybe it goes more for nature.
Maybe. Maybe, or just the way that the kids are socialized as well.
It is. And also girls are very active now, and we are happy to support them in this. And we do have boys which are very, very proactive, and ready to collaborate. And it's amazing, actually. But yes, we do feel some difference. But of course, there are some common things for both, and we don't differentiate. Is it a boy or a girl? But both of them, which is very important, need support. And sometimes this different kinds of support, because by nature girls could be more sensitive. For example, girls could suffer from some other points, and if we go for the topic of some sexology, right, we need to differentiate these moments. That's why we also invite some doctors, for example, to speak on points depending on are you female or a man. It's also important because it's part of another kind of education.
Well, we grew up knowing nothing about our reproductive system,
and it's a shame, actually. Really,
it was part of our bodies. We would go through periods every month, and no one would talk about it. I mean, we grew up with advertisements on television of serviettes, of pads, and the blood wasn't even red, it was blue.
I did.
So I mean,
remember.
So I mean, we've things are changing now, and girls are finding more confidence. But to take it away from the body differences as well, and biology, girls grew up not really seeing women in positions of power and being leaders, and thankfully now we're seeing it more and more. So there are actually role models for girls there as well, and also boys getting used to the fact that a woman can be a leader as well.
Definitely. That the women can be the CEO of company, the president, prime minister, whatever. And the words which women say are important, and they equal, and they wise, and it's worth to listen to it. Life is changing, and actually it's amazing.
I do think it's amazing as well, and I love seeing young girls feeling more confident. I love seeing them, reclaim their spaces and express themselves. And I would really like to see boys coming in and celebrating in the same way as well. So, hopefully those of us who are raising boys and in a boy environment, we're able to do that.
I just had such a thought that life is really changing, and the future is actually in kids. Such an important role of a school, bringing up the kids, because they are the future. They will change world.
And exactly. And also, when we were growing up, we kind of knew what the future had. We knew what jobs we wanted to do, and we knew that those jobs would be there. For these kids, our kids, the ones that we're raising, and the kids that are part of the school or society in general, the future is quite unknown to them. That it's very uncertain, and that can be quite scary. So that's why I love the fact that you're focusing on soft skills, which means that no matter what the future holds, they'll be able to communicate. They'll be able to feel confident. They'll be able to lead their communities.
I think if we speak about maybe even 20 years ago, it's we knew actually, at least we guessed that what will be after I will finish school, I will go to university, then I will get job, maybe I will marry or not, but it's something predictable. Life shows that it's not predictable anymore. In terms of everything, some social life, politics, climate, technologies, everything is changing. And in this every second changing world, you should be confident at least in something, and it's you.
Yeah.
So you should be aware at least what are you doing and where are you going and what you want, or at least what you don't want. And it will help you to make next step. And it doesn't matter if this step is planned for 10, 20, 50 years ago, or it's for tomorrow, which is also a goal as well.
Yeah.
Because if we speak again about Ukrainians, and it's like my community as well.
No, that's why you're here. Yeah.
And I see it every day. The worst thing was actually in that fact that you are not sure in tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's psychological stuff. When you need to know some breakup moment later, some line, and because person cannot live without plan or line at all.
Yes.
We live, for example, when you planned a trip and you leave for this line, right? When you plan the weekend and you understand what will happen, when you don't know what will happen in any other second, you are lost in this world.
And it's scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
Because people lived some predictable and clear life, and now everything ruined.
Yes.
And the task is for kids to build this awareness about your plans, about how to build these plans, how to be sure in what's going on, at least in yourself.
Yes, exactly. Right. Let's go to the 2 questions that I always ask the Kateryna Biloruska Foundation guests that I have. What does youth empowerment mean to you?
It's future.
Yeah.
Because our life, Eleni, our life with you as well.
Yes.
depends on our kids. They are next generation, and we are making this life as well. So empowerment of minds is helping students, helping kids from the very, very early ages to build this future amazing world, to change it somehow, and to keep the main goals good ones, for the whole generation.
Okay. And what advice would you give to parents who are raising future leaders?
Always support, love your kids, hear them, speak to them. Very simple advices.
I was going to say, hear them, speak to them. I always feel that listening to them is way more important than speaking to them. Would you agree with that?
It's true, but
we don't really listen to them, do we? We sit over them and lecture them and like, you did this and you shouldn't have done that and you should do this and I'm telling you, and we never actually give them a chance to speak and listen.
It's true. So it's important to hear what they say and actually react properly. So maybe speaking not in the first place, but after. Because you remember, dialogue is very crucial.
Yes, but that's dialogue. Dialogue means speaking and then listening. Whereas many times we stop speaking and we listen, but it's only because we're waiting to speak again. It's not actually because...
No. You need basically hear what the kid says.
Yeah, active listening.
Kids are much more mature by nature, and they never react or show something improperly. If the kid is crying, disruptive, or just ignoring, it actually means something. And to read the signs properly is very important for parents, because parents now are busy.
Yeah.
They are busy with work, jobs, like need money, how to pay rent, whatever.
How to feed them.
Nah.
How to feed them. Yeah, how to keep them entertained. Yeah, it's a lot. Parents have their hands, very, very full. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know, like, we are parents as well, and parents like cover some financial part of it, but kids usually remember something different.
Yeah, so let's make sure that what they have to remember is good. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Katerina, thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed this podcast interview, and I feel that it will help not only educators start to look at things a bit differently, but also parents as well. So thank you.
Thank you for inviting. It was my huge pleasure to speak to you, and thank you for listening and for all your amazing questions.
Thank you, Katerina. Thanks.
Thank you.